Welcome on, I'm Uni, and I want to remind you that you can build literally whatever you wish or please. However, some of you may be stuck finding fulfillment in your builds or don't know where to start. That sort of burnout can come from watching too many tutorials without letting your own style flourish. And let me tell you, being more meaningful with your Minecraft builds can make your 2-week Minecraft phase last orders of magnitude longer. I wanted to touch on pretty polar aspects of building rather than just what blocks to build with. I will give a few block palette recommendations though. With that in mind, allow me to tell you 3 things to consider when building in Minecraft. This specific one might be a little odd. Of course you're building for yourself, but that is not the typical mindset when working on something creative, especially for lore purposes, if you want to go there. What the fuck? Explaining the who when building can be a little tricky, so allow me to present you my starter base. Yes, I know, it's massive, but it's a multiplayer server, so I was able to get materials pretty fast. But that's besides the point. Who is this build for? Well, this build is a mud packing or cement factory that has trapped its workers on a remote coast with terrible working conditions. They're forced to work until injury, and some are even trapped on the roof with no help in sight. They even trap copper golems in 1x1 spaces to sort for the company. The best they could do is drape this giant thrown together SOS sign out the side of the building in hopes that somebody would free them. It's a simple concept, but just those few sentences probably make the building 10 times as memorable and special. Of course, you can make an area's who factor have as many layers as you want. Think of it as a backstory. I recommend revolving the lore around some sort of build so that you can better work off of it instead of telling AI what build to make of your words. Bruh. Another example of writing can be like, this build belonged to a mastermind who has tarnished himself away to the Shadow Realm in the basement. Now his loyal creations have to tend to the home while he is gone. Again, be creative, and be stupid with it if you will. Also, leave a comment below with a bit of writing of your own. I want to try to build it in a later video. Oh man. Hey, you. I'm looking for the next segue to the video. Do you want to follow me? Blech. Ugh. Ugh. Come on, come on. Huh? Oh. You want this? Yeah! Die! Man, it's gotta be around here somewhere. Whoa. Oh god. Get away. This one usually serves as the main course for most people, and it's pretty straightforward. Better yet, if you match your who to some sort of build, this section can turn out to be way easier to brainstorm. Ask yourself, what can I build knowing who this is for? Even if you set something for yourself to build, it is not always that easy. If you set yourself to build a castle, it can come in thousands of different shapes, sizes, and colors. This is something everybody struggles with at some point in every field, from music, drawing, playstyles, etc. To that I say, do not be ashamed of searching for references. I get my building style from BOO, who even himself uses references when building. Here's an example of a factory I made in my Minecraft Alpha world. Beautiful, right? Right? Well, I actually pulled a reference for this, and here it is. It's as easy as just searching factory. I personally like taking the shape for references rather than their colors or anything else. I find the silhouette to be the most appealing feature in the build. And some things don't even need references. For the interior, I completely let my imagination flourish with this conveyor belt, this lecture spot, and this forging spot. If I look up, some flickering lights too. Where to build? There are seemingly infinite possibilities of places to build, but take it from me, don't be that guy who spawns in a world and walks thousands and thousands of blocks away for a spot, bloating up the world files and isolating them from apologies. At times, finding the perfect spot to build can be harder than building itself, especially if you want it to be perfect. I highly recommend you choose based off these 3 conditions: biome versus build, verticality, and what's near. Starting from the top, biome versus build. This one should be simple. Do not pick a biome that clashes with your base's theme. For example, don't build an elaborate gothic castle in a jungle biome. Probably choose a pale oak or a tundra biome. Blocks built in certain biomes should match their warmth, saturations, and sometimes blocks themselves. It is really easy to clash with the area around you and make an otherwise fantastic build look pure awkward if you don't do it right. Verticality in a build should scale with both the density and the size of your builds. To throw some more examples out there, if you're building a big city with large buildings, you probably want to keep it flat so your buildings stand out more and look bigger. Sometimes it can be the same for smaller buildings in a city, just with some large staircases, kind of like this. Trying to fit a big city in secluded terrain can be tricky, and will either limit the size of your city or make everything way too cramped if that is not your forte. What's nearby can also shape how you plan an area in the future. In this world, it was a nearby village, a giant cave, and a nearby ocean. Those 3 things gave me lots of accessibility to resources very quickly, and oceans give tons of room for elaborate farms. It's hard to plan this one out because there's a few things you don't know about the place you'd like to settle, mainly what's underground. If you haven't progressed that far, I recommend caving in the area or looking within a 500 to 1,000 block radius for anything that will be helpful to have nearby. Do not forget you can literally conceptualize anything about whatever it is you know about. It doesn't have to be a house, it could be an art piece. I urge you to look at references online and exercise your creative ability instead of looking at tutorials. Take this quote and run with it. Bad creators copy, good creators steal. Steal their roof design, steal their block palette, steal where they build their base, but don't steal their build and paste it into your world. That is heartless. Take samples and make something of your own. When building, it is always good to know even a little bit of color theory. Know what colors go together well. Know what saturations and hues go together well. There's tons of gray blocks in the game, but I will link in the description really good guides and tools to help you along the way, so consider using them. If you've learned something from me and have gotten this far, hit those buttons you're familiar with. Don't hesitate to reach out or join my Discord server if you want extra guidance. Don't hesitate to take breaks from the game. Everybody needs a break from everything at some point, but come back fired up with ideas in mind and tools on standby. But with that, thank you for watching.